Hello and welcome to episode 155 of Nintendo Therapy, the show where we celebrate all things Nintendo. Joining me this week, as always, our ringleader Kevin,
Hi.
our man with all the notes Harrison,
I did take a lot of notes, so thank you for that.
a- and me. I'm the DK guy since we got a little TK this week.
Donkey Kong. Yeah, he
Oh,
returned again. He's the
a
he's the
year
DK
later.
that keeps returning. And speaking of which, and actually not speaking of which, that was a horrible transition. Doug Bowser has now joined
Oh,
Hasbro. So I, so so
oh, he's
so so to open you guys up for today, I wrote down some possible new names because of course he can't go by Doug Bowser anymore. That's not allowed. Um, because it's Hasbro, it's not Nintendo. So Doug Megatron, Doug Snake Eyes, Doug Venom, Doug Boba Fett, Doug Beyblade. Any of these names would work, but he has to change his names though. So what name do you
I.
think he should go by?
Doug Hulk hands.
Doug, I
Exactly.
was gonna say Doug Starscream, but I hope that's part of the contract now. You have to legally change your name to one of our toys.
Well, I would assume, right? I mean, was he hired with the name Bowser? I don't think so. I don't know. Okay, he
Doug,
was. He was, just in case there's no the sarcasm isn't getting through. So
Doug
now
I
Cobra.
mean, if I get to pick my own name, I'd go with Doug Marvel Legends. That's the best one.
it's a whole franchise. Uh
Yeah.
Dark Star Wars Black Legends or whatever.
Does Hasbro do
Cinnamon.
Star Wars too? Oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
they do
Yeah.
everything. They do everything when I was trying to brainstorm like different funny names for Doug. Yeah, that was the first news item I saw this week because I don't know, like, oh, the new president is someone who's boring. Yeah, so was Doug. Doug was boring too. Sorry, like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter that much. Um,
Yeah, we're not playing a video game of them. Like as long as, they keep the company pumping out them Marios, we're good.
right, right. So that that was the first thing, and yeah, I guess it must be nice to be a highly employable person. Just being able to
Well, I mean,
go.
he's got a really good resume. Doug Bowser, he was there. He took Nintendo to their record high, which we talked about last week. How the stock price was down. It was down from a record high. So that's a good resume.
He's gonna go save Hasbro as they leave Rhode Island.
Yeah. So this
So
week,
yeah.
another thing that happened this week, I have another entry for the year of the backlog. I finished another game. I'm not going to be finishing games every week. It's going to seem like that for a minute because I got a lot of short stuff left, but eventually I'm going to hit that block of RPGs and it's going to be a while. But this week I finished New Super Mario Brothers Wii U Deluxe paragraph.com, long title. Uh, Funny thing is, like, I was pretty sure I had beaten this game before on the Wii U because I know I bought it day one. I still have it on my Wii U. I don't think I did now that I've been through the whole thing. I think I kept confusing this one for Mario Brothers Wii. Um, because there were definitely stuff at the end of the game that I don't think I've seen before. Like it's a really, really cool final boss battle that like doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just like you're in, you're out. I'm like, I hate when they drag it on too long and you got like six different forms of the final boss and like
What
just
was the end boss? I don't remember.
it's Bowser, of course, and they pay homage to the classic series where you have to go underneath him and hit the thing, and the drawbridge goes down, and then he grows huge, and baby Bowser is flying around in his little clown mobile thing, and you dodge Bowser's attacks, and when Baby Bowser swoops down, you jump on his head, take the clown car up, and dive it down onto Bowser's head. So
Okay,
there's the
because
mechanics for that.
I know you're a little more of a fan of those games than I am, but I couldn't remember what it was because it wasn't he was a castle. So I remember
Yeah.
that part.
No, and in the one on Wii, New Super Mario Brothers Wii, it's kind of drawn out. It's like you have to go through this whole side-scrolling section before you can fight him again, and I
Oh,
like that they
yeah.
I like that they left that out this time.
Yeah, I
Um,
wasn't in that part, but go on because, like I said, you enjoyed this more than I played it on Wii U, but I don't know.
I mean, to me, it's my favorite of the new Super Mario Brothers games. I can definitely say that now that I've finished it. Everybody, has their problems with two, but I agree with them. I think that's the worst one. And yeah, I think it's this and the first one are kind of neck and neck. The one for Wii is clearly designed. They were trying to push that 4-player couch co-op
Yeah.
at the time, so the level is way zoomed out, and you have too much space.
Mhm.
The levels kind of feel empty because they expect 4 people to be playing them. Um, this one's more dialed in, it's more focused, so I liked it a lot. And I feel like it's a great game that just people as soon as Super Mario Brothers Wonder came out, which we have news on that game this week, uh, people turned on this game, and I just want to remind everyone, don't turn on this game. If you're looking for a Mario side scroller and you haven't picked this one up in a while, do it, especially if you're, trying to gear yourself up for Wonder and you've already played all of Wonder. This is some side scrolling Mario for you to get you in the mood for side scrolling Mario. But yeah, when Wonder came out, it was like, oh, New Super Mario Bros. Wii U, such a disappointment. It played it so safe, and it's like sometimes you want the game to be what you expected it to be. I don't think it played it too safe. It was expected, yeah, but um, I don't know. It's
This is one when the Switch version came out. When I forgot about this when I was researching it yesterday. Everyone made a video or an article about when the Switch
mm,
version of this game came out. And maybe that's because the Switch was at the time so new and it had
uh
gained so much popularity initially, but
yeah, and I
everyone
think it was
had an
popular to
opinion.
dunk on the Wii U at the time to say like, this all the Wii U is redundant because the Switch is getting all the Wii U games. I know that was big every time one of those would come out.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised by the amount of traffic that because people were making new Super Mario Brothers U videos that were getting like 1 million views. I was like, wow. But
Yeah, it
yeah,
goes to
yeah,
show you
everyone had
people
an
like
opinion
this
on this
game.
one.
People at least like to see people talk about it. And I don't know. Leave your comments down below what you think of it, but I really, really enjoy this game. I like how safe it is. I like that it feels comforting. That's the word I would use, not safe. It's like exactly what you want out of a Mario game. So moving forward, I've got some Metal Gears left for Year of the Backlog, and then I'm at some point going to hit a wall where I've got a bunch of JRPGs that are going to be like big projects, like Nino Kuni, Suikoden 1 and 2, Lunar 1 and 2. Final Fantasy 6 is still on the Pixel remaster. Octopath Traveler. I got a lot, so yeah,
Yeah, so
that's
my
it.
year of the backlog, I scratched Metroid Prime off. Not quickly. Took about a month. Uh I enjoyed it. I see why people like the first person take on the thing. Like, I get it. Uh I learned I'm not a fan of first person boss fights. Maybe I'm crazy, but I felt like the arenas for the most part were really small, so I had some difficulty with navigating those. I think the world map is the perfect size. Like, the
Hmm.
backtracking never bothered me in the game because everything was pretty well connected. I really liked the ice world, hated the mines. For whatever reason, the mines were not a fun place for me. Uh,
Those places.
those places.
Okay.
I know that you can change the control layout, and I didn't do that, so maybe I'm complaining about something I could have fixed, but I thought the button layout was confusing that the beam change and the visor change were on the D-pad, but you had to hold a button depending what thing you were changing, so that threw me off constantly. Like I was always
Do you
picking
have
the
to hold
wrong
it or
beam.
just select it? I'm not that far yet. You have to hold it? I didn't remember
If you're
that.
doing the beam, you have to hold a button and use the D-pad. And then
Oh,
if
okay.
you're just doing the visors, it's just the D-pad, but I
It's
constantly
been
was
like 2
screwing it up.
years or however long it's been, so I'll get there eventually.
And
I'm currently playing it for my Metroid playthrough, so I'll see.
and then this might just be me being old, but I had a really hard time like distinguishing stuff when I was underwater, especially like the platforming sections. I'm like, I think it's right there. I'm like, nope, I missed it. So I don't know. Maybe, maybe my depth perception underwater in games is gone. Uh, so, but yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. It was frustrating a little bit. I don't feel like the controls were the tightest, but I also never played the GameCube version, so I don't know. Uh, so it was glad I played it. I wouldn't go back to it. The only bad thing is it didn't make me want to jump right back into 4. So I'm playing something else and then I'll do 4 because I don't know if back to back's a good idea.
Yeah,
But
especially
yeah,
'cause, I think Prime is better than 4, so if you're not, too hot on it. They're close, like, but I think Prime, in my opinion, is like an A minus and 4 is like a B.
but no, it was good. I got to play it and I'd play 2. I mean, whether it's on the GameCube app or if they actually remaster it. 3, I don't know because everybody tells me it's such a slog. So I may just forever skip
Hmm.
3.
2
But
and 3 I've heard that for.
so it was good to get it off. Crossed another GameCube I should have played at the time off. So
It's like only it's like people only like one. It's like
Yeah.
it's like yeah, I hear that about 2 and 3 and 4. It's like it's all of them, guys.
I
Like,
hear a lot
Well,
of people like 2 the most.
yeah, the thing with 3 is, and I haven't played it, but I've heard there are these, there's like a slow motion mechanic or something that slows things down and people hate it.
Okay,
uh,
well, I'll wait on it. But yeah, and then I guess as far as one of Harrison's news things, Donkey Kong Country Returns just randomly updated a year later.
You can't
Um,
predict Nintendo, man. We should just close the doors, shut this whole pod down. You never know what they're gonna come out with.
so the update gives you Dixie Kong, so it's a little closer to Tropical Freeze. Um, and on Switch 2, better visuals, better load times, and I think there's like a even faster time attack mode or something. I was surprised it's an 8 GB upgrade. I don't know if it's because I have Switch 2. So if anyone listening is just playing on your Switch or your OLED, maybe it's not an 8 gig download on there. But I played one level just to see how it is, and for whatever reason, Dixie plays better than Diddy in these games. Not in the original games, but in these two, she's got a little more oomph in her hover than the barrel hover. So it gives me another reason to keep slowly cracking away at the modern mode, whatever the heck that is, because I beat it in classic mode. But nice surprise. But I really wish Nintendo would release a terabyte SD card because
Yeah.
they're killing me on space. Like, because
They're getting closer. I think they put out a 500 one recently, 500 gig. The terabyte one technically exists. It's just like vaporware. They don't mass produce them enough, so every time they show up, they sell out.
so for
because I've been bombarded with Final Fantasy 7 ads, and I'm like, oh, and I was like 90 gigs. Nope.
yeah, exactly. So for
Yeah, I'm
this
just gonna play Final Fantasy 7 on my PlayStation 5 this week and pretend that it's on the Switch because
Yeah,
I have it
yeah.
there. So
So for this
What were you
update,
saying, Harrison?
uh, we have the turbo attack mode,
Yeah,
and
that's what it is. Turbo attack.
you mentioned everything else. Yeah, higher resolutions, loading times. It supports game share, which is also
That was a
it's going to
good
be the
thing,
case
yeah.
for every update we talk about.
Yeah, they're doing
And
that a lot, which is good.
it's
I think I saw Mario
still
Tennis is going to have game share too.
and if you are if like me, if you're a Switch 1 user, it did update for that one as well. So
Yeah, I
since
was glad they did both. It wasn't just a Switch 2 update.
since we're on updates, we'll just do the other one now. Mario Wonder. So this one came out on a Tuesday. Mario Wonder came out on a
On a
Thursday, I
Tuesday.
believe.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
so the Mario Wonder Switch 2 trailer, uh, it also came with new content. It has a new hub area called Bella Bell Park, has new mini games, and it seems like they're really pushing more of the family and the couch co-op, which is cool to see. Just kind of surprising, kind of like what happened with this week with it was a very Nintendo week in that sense. Up to 4 players. There's 17 new attractions. Game share, as we mentioned. Online is up to 12 players. It adds an assist mode. Assist mode is just a mode where you can't take damage and you can't fall. You can't like if you try to fall, they'll just catch you and put you back on the platform. Uh,
Which they already had for was it Nabbit or something? It's just now you can use it on all the
oh
characters.
yeah, yeah. Nabbit, you could just play. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Uh, so that's the Luma support character. They added Switch to mouse mode, and maybe the most talked about change is that Rosalina is now fully playable. We did not get to see an elephant Rosalina in the trailer, but I'm hoping that exists.
It's
And
got
then they did tease a new flower themed power up, which I thought was unique because you think Mario and you think flowers. That's not too far off. That's like almost from the very beginning, Mario and flowers. Well, pretty much. But no, it's a
Yep.
whole new like Mario dressed up as a cute flower, a cute floral outfit. I thought that was a pretty cute thing, but they teased that nicely. This launch comes out March 26th. Um, Switch 2 owners have to buy an upgrade pack for this one. And there are 3 new amiibos. Now, here's something unique about this, which I just learned like a few hours ago. There's Elephant Mario, there's Poplin and Prince Florian, Captain Toad, and Talking Flower. These amiibos are $25 each, which is
yeah.
cheaper. I would say cheaper than the other ones. Um,
It's still higher than average though. I remember
Still
when I
higher.
took the notes for amiibos before. If anybody's curious, the average price of an amiibo I think is $22 when you average them all out.
Well, this one might have
Are they
might have
mostly
evened
30
it out a
right
little
now?
bit.
Yeah. No,
So
some of like the Metroid ones were the one with the motorcycle, they go as high as like $40 sometimes. Maybe it might even be more. Maybe
the
50.
Okay.
the
Yeah.
reason why people were talking about the price of these amiibos is because I think the same day or the next day they announced through the Nintendo website special retailers that they'll are going to be releasing a talking flower toy, and it doesn't have that many features like you can touch it and it talks to
Yeah, I
you.
saw people talking
And
about that. I thought they announced that already. Like, wasn't that in a direct before?
I
Yeah, they
don't
had announced it before, but I
Okay.
don't know if they got into too many details on it.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm just
yeah,
making sure I'm not crazy and that I this wasn't a new thing to me. Okay.
well, details. Yeah, you touch it, it talks to you, and then it will. in the normal mode, it'll randomly talk every couple hours, but you can turn that off. I would be turning that off because I'd be like, "What?" I'd be like, I'd be working. I'd be like, "What the hell? What was that?" You know. And then I think you can set like an easy alarm, but it's just I thought if you were gonna do something like this, why isn't this Nintendo's version of Alexa? Like you got
Yeah.
AI, right? You got something like that. Like at least have it be like, um, hey, flower guy, who's the Mario character and blah blah blah. I don't have a good example, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like
Mm.
it just it's a very simple like you press the button and it talks. Now, it's $35. So it's right away something that people can buy, put on a shelf, whatever, right? But um yeah, it doesn't really do that much. But it's $35. I think it's kind of funny. And that
If it
was the
doesn't say
Mario.
"feed me Seymour," I don't want it.
Right.
So
And it can't even talk with
Yeah,
the
and I'm
Alarmo.
I'm an amiibo collector, so I can't complain about how useless something is. 'Cause the amiibo,
it
Dude,
uh,
does one thing in this one game.
it's really fun.
exactly. It's
I mean, it's cheaper than like buying like one of those like 'cause they made a flower version of the camera, right? And most people, I'm
get
sure
an
that
amiibo
bought
stand.
Oh,
that
yeah.
aren't using it. Maybe just put on a
Yeah.
shelf.
Yep.
You know what they should have done is had it do something, like, with Alarmo,
Yeah.
that way people would be, like, more inclined to buy Alarmo because it's like, "Oh, the flower and the clock will interact," or so I don't know what they would do.
They should have. They should have done something with that. Because, like, I think it would have been cool if you were able to like talk with your flower, like build something on it, and make it into a Furby, something. Like, come on, like it's 2026. So I had some quick news items. Those were the first two. I got four more, and we're gonna just go through them. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which is way too long of a title for someone who doesn't know Final Fantasy, came out as a Switch 2 only title. The reviews are surprising, I guess, for someone who hasn't played this game, but it
I don't
might be the best
I don't
reviewed.
think there's anything about it that's Switch 2 exclusive, is there?
What's that?
That's the first I'm hearing of it.
What?
I
I
think
think
it
it's
said
just the
it's on Switch
Intergrade.
2 and not on Switch.
Oh, I see what you're saying, not on Switch. Okay, yeah.
Right, right. It's exclusive to the Switch 2 and not the Switch.
Gotcha. Okay,
Uh,
no, that makes sense.
uh, but I watched the Digital Foundry video on it. I read the Metacritic reviews. It's sitting at an 88 or 89. Uh, 30 FPS, locked, 1080p. It doesn't hit 60 like it would on PS5, but everything kind of evens out to where it looks really, really impressive in docked and handheld mode. The issue with the battery will always get brought up with this generation. We're not going to be able to avoid it. It just is what it is. It's the same thing, as I said, with my Steam Deck, with certain games that I play. Some I can play for hours, some I can only play for like an hour and a half. So, same thing there. Um, Pretty impressive. I know that the other Final Fantasy VII comes out at some point. I don't remember when it does. So that's a good sign. And um, yeah, that's basically it. I think they added a new. I don't know if it's a new option, but I think they added like a God mode to this game. And hey, it's adding on to the Nintendo Square Enix relationship. So hopefully that stays strong and we see more of that in the future. That's really all I wanted to
Yeah,
say. I
yeah,
think
it
it
was
might be the
just
most.
yesterday it was
Go
just
ahead.
yesterday that Square Enix confirmed that Rebirth is in development for the Switch 2. So, they don't have a
Okay.
release date yet. We're probably not getting that anytime soon.
Right. So there's no surprise with that. having this game handheld, I'm sure for Final Fantasy players, it's pretty cool because I'm sure there's people that think like, wow, I can remember playing back in the PSP era, and now you can have a game of this caliber handheld. I'm sure that is pretty cool. Outside of maybe like Cyberpunk, this might be the biggest third-party release we've seen on the Switch 2 so far. So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Kevin, you're the Final Fantasy guy. So anything else on this game that we should know about?
I mean, I just have so many mixed feelings on it. I've said a bunch. I don't like the changes they made to the story and how they introduced a whole meta narrative where if for some reason you're listening to me right now deciding whether or not to play this game, I think an important thing to know going in that they kind of bait and switched us with is that this is more of a sequel to Final Fantasy VII than it is a remake. What they meant by Final Fantasy VII Remake is that they are remaking Final Fantasy VII. Um, it's like it requires it's got a meta narrative that requires your knowledge of Final Fantasy VII. And I don't like that they did that because there's a whole generation of gamers who have not played the original and were looking forward to this game because they were like, oh, I'll just play the remake when it comes out. And the remake isn't the same. So I don't like that. It's a great game, but that aspect of it will always be kind of tugging at my collar, aggravating me, because it's just why? Why couldn't you just remake the game like everybody wanted you to? Nobody needed you to introduce this weird meta story about how the story isn't playing out the way it's supposed to, so we need to fix it. Um, and that's not a spoiler. It happens pretty early in the game. So,
Many such
y-
cases. Many such cases of games doing that. Or games
yeah, it's
changing a mechanic or something that makes
well,
it
this is
so
like
it's
I
like
said, it acts as a sequel to Final Fantasy VII because this subplot they introduced is these things that are there to make sure the story plays out the way it's supposed to. So like you're supposed to know the story already.
they should have just called it 7.5.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many numbers. Final Fantasy Rogue One, something like that. I don't know.
Yep.
You know it
And I
it
mean, I'm sure you could get enjoyment out of it not knowing the original. You just know, like, oh, okay, they're making sure Fate plays out the way Fate is supposed to, or whatever. But it's just, I don't know. It irked me.
I mean it is impressive how popular this IP is with how overwhelming of an IP it is to get into because
Mhm.
like I mean there's a 14 of this game. Like how many games have the number 14 eventually in their
16.
IP? Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16 is there. They're working on 17 right now.
Yeah. So definitely a very like overwhelming franchise to get into, yet is a franchise that remains very, very popular. And
Yeah. Mega Man and
whenever
Dragon Quest are kind of close. Those are the only numbered ones I can think of.
whenever Rebirth does come out, I expect that to be um, a huge seller for the Switch 2, for sure.
Still have it on my PlayStation. I have it. I gotta play it. I gotta.
So I'm just
This
going.
game upset me too much. All right, move on. Yeah, we can't talk about it all day.
I'll just move. I'll just move up then. Um, so I was checking out. It's pretty unique on the eShop right now, and especially on like the just the regular Switch eShop. Dispatch, which is an
Oh yeah.
indie game from Telltale, which is now ad hoc. Well, not Telltale, but it's now ad hoc, which
Yeah, yeah.
is which has four of the members of Telltale. But anyways, um, that came out in October 2025 on PC and PS5, was an instant hit. Has had very, very overwhelming reviews. Might be partly due that it has Aaron Paul as the lead character, definitely, and this this company, although it's under a new name, it has released a lot of big names under under like the biggest IPs, I'll say. So it comes out the 29th. It's already number one on the digital eShop. It's I believe 25 and 35 for the bundle. And it is um basically you play as a superhero that becomes a dispatcher
Yep.
for whatever reason. And I'm not really sure what it looks like to me. It kind of looks like um I don't know, like Watchmen. I'm not really too sure what it looks like. But yeah, you play Robert, disgraced hero, now working as a dispatcher, and it's episodic. So there's going to be like new episodes coming out after the game is released. It sold over 2 million copies in its first month, one of the best reviewed narrative games of 2025, and definitely something that I'm interested in. I don't think I've ever played any games from this studio. It's not a genre that I get into, but the story seems interesting, and I'm interested in seeing why people have such a big interest in it because Telltale went away because I think of a lack of interest, but now, we're a week out and the pre-orders on this are going crazy. So, I think it'll be perfect uh, as a handheld game. But yeah, Sean,
Mm.
do you know anything about this game?
Yeah, I have some friends that have played it and said it's well worth it. This is one I'd wait for a more of a sale. I've played some of the Telltale stuff. I think the Batman one was the last one I played that was decent. Wasn't anything mind blowing, but
Did they do the Back to the Future one, Telltale?
they did. Yep.
Okay, I thought so.
I think part of what sank them is they
Yeah,
over licensed. They did too
that's
many
what I was gonna
licensed
say. Is
things.
it like comes and goes in waves? Like people got all into it, and then eventually, like, there's only so much of that you can do before it starts being repetitive, you know.
Yeah, you only play so
But
many
then,
games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but then you go back to it.
So I'm curious on it because it's an original property, and I know they're planning on doing more of it. And I think it's 8 chapters, which is longer than they usually do. I think it has multiple endings too. I mean, these games are iffy on if the choices matter, so I don't know if it differentiated enough from Telltale because that didn't always. It's like, oh, I made this choice now. It didn't really change much anything. So it's one to look out for, but it's not something I'm jumping on immediately.
yeah. I think they were supposed to do a Stranger Things game, and it got canceled
Hmm.
because
That sounds about right.
their studio had shut down. But that makes sense though, because with this being a new IP, maybe people are like, well, it's not just something based on a show or a movie that I like, and it has Aaron Paul,
Yeah.
so there's definitely eyeballs that were drawn towards that automatically. Um, so yeah, I'll be interested in seeing. Like, it's cool to see games that create hype um, as new episodes come out or new updates come out. Uh,
Mm.
that's that's always cool because we don't get enough opportunities to share hype around video games. So yeah, it's already number one. Number two in the Switch Digital eShop, I think still today as we record. Something that I'm really trying to not buy, not because of money, but because it's $20, but because I just do not have time for it right now. Wizard 101 released on Switch and Switch 2. It's not free to play, and apparently, well, actually, let me say it first. It's $20, and you get the first story, the first arc. So overall, it is cheaper then if you were to play through the first story, then but you don't get any free to play features. I guess you'd still play it for a certain amount of time before you have to actually shell out money for it. But apparently, this was not done by the publisher. This was done by Nintendo. Nintendo told them you have to make it a paid game. Now, again, it does even out in a way because there's, in-app purchases or digital currency, whatever you call it. But I think it's unique that Nintendo told them no, like it's going to be a popular game, which it is, number 2 on the digital eShop. So you have to put a price on it. But yeah, I mean, it was a game I remember a lot of people playing when I was in college. Like it came out in 2008, and I can remember people playing it on like their Windows XP, and it's cool to see that it still has hype around it. Like it's cool that like seeing the videos of it's just cool to see that Nintendo has MMOs that people will get on and other people are online at the same time. That's pretty much where I am with
Yeah.
Nintendo right now. So I think I want to buy it and play it, but it seems like the perfect like, oh, I could just do one more thing type of game. Like,
Yep.
so I'm avoiding it. But for handhelds, I don't know how the controls are. They don't have mouse controls either, which is really weird. Maybe they'll update that, but you would assume that a PC game coming to Switch would have mouse controls right off the bat, but maybe it's an update. Uh, Kevin, do you know about Wizard 101?
No, I don't know anything about it.
It's a popular game in the eShop that I know about, but I didn't know it was coming to Switch. Yeah, Sean, how about you?
As you were talking about it, I vaguely remembered it because you're like, "Oh, 2008." I went, "Yep, that sounds about right." But it was never a game I played, so
Yeah, it was like an MMO. Like maybe I was no, I guess I knew people that were playing it, but like it was certainly an MMO that like younger people were playing at the time if they weren't playing like Warcraft or whatever else they were playing at the time. So
I played
I
Final Fantasy 11 to bring it back to Final Fantasy 11. That's the only MMO I've ever played, and I did not enjoy it. I don't like having to like set my real life schedule around a video game. I know I've said on here the exact opposite about Animal Crossing, where I don't time travel, but it's not the same thing. Like if I miss something in Animal Crossing, I can get it the next day. It's there's just something different about it for I don't I don't want to do it for an MMO. I don't
I
want to meet other people's schedules.
I've always been
yeah, it was
amazed
never really a genre I got in. So
that Nintendo hasn't they don't have
done one.
one like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pokemon,
Pokey.
come on. Like it's perfect. Like you get the whole world there. Like and you've got everybody but Pokemon Go is the perfect
Yeah.
example of people are willing to go out and team up and do this together.
Pokey MMO is like I mean I don't even know if you can call it a ROM hack, but it is incredibly popular still. And it's like right there. Like, why would you not have a Pokemon MMO at any point? I think it's because everyone would just play it. Everyone would just be focused on it, and then they wouldn't want to play the other Pokemon games. But
I could
like,
see them doing a Xenoblade MMO
that
as
could
well.
work too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and maybe
So
I would play
Pokemon,
that if they came out with it because I'm I could be talked into the genre. I just need the right like kind of like jumping off point. Uh,
Next year is going to be my Xenoblade year after I get this backlog handled.
and
so
then
Pokemon, that's a good
well,
transition
well,
there.
well, well, I have
Oh,
one more, so we're gonna
all
sandwich
right.
it, and then you can do your transition, Sean. So we started with Nintendo. We'll finish with Nintendo. The last news item that I basically
Shocking.
had was uh, no surprise, Famitsu put out some numbers, and then VGC translated it. Switch 2 in Japan is the best-selling launch of any console in Japanese history. It outsold the average of basically video games as a whole in Japan last year, which increased. Year over year, video game sales increased 38% or 39%, they reported, and the hardware sales for the Switch 2 or for Nintendo overall were up 49%. They sold over 2 million hardware units, and they sold 1.5 million Switch units just last year, outperforming PS5 by almost twice the amount. Xbox we won't talk about, but still very, very popular. Over half of hardware and software sales in Japan last year were Nintendo. Hit nearly 1 million units in its first week, has sold 10 million worldwide overall. 9 out of the top physical games in Japan last year were Switch or Switch 2 games. Top ones being Mario Kart World, 2.6 million, Pokemon Legends ZA, 2.5 million. And that's a part where I'll stop because I think that's really unique. We've talked on here a lot about how a huge percentage of Switch users have those big top 4 games, Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart. What am I missing? Something else, right?
Animal
Smash
Crossing.
Brothers. Smash Brothers, I think,
Oh, yeah.
or something. But if you think, they sold no, I messed it up. They sold 3.78 million units in Japan, and 2.6 have Mario Kart World. That's a bundle. 2.5 have
Yep.
Pokemon Legends ZA. A huge percentage of people in Japan with a Switch 2 own both of those games. So,
Yeah.
just a big observation of how Nintendo is relying on those first party IPs. No surprise, but I thought that was a pretty staggering takeaway. So yeah,
Speaking of
hopefully.
first party IPs,
So
Sean, that's your
Ding-ding.
transition.
So the spotlight this week, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team.
Yeah.
Why is it just a run-on sentence? I don't understand why.
Yeah, I'm not a big
speaking of
fan of the
long titles,
title,
yeah.
but yeah. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team Final Fantasy 7 Remake Deluxe New Super Mario
Integrated.
Brothers Wii U Deluxe. Uh it's a standout Pokemon spin-off series that trades gems and badges for a roguelike dungeon crawl and a surprisingly heartfelt story kind of put in there, a children's version of a heartfelt story. Released on the Game Boy Advance in 2005, the game
Children's
begins. What's that?
children's version of a
Well,
heartfelt story.
it's not like yeah, it's for kids. It's Pokemon. It's not a
No, I know, but
yeah.
to me, a heartfelt story is directed at kids usually. It's
Really? There's like adult romances and stuff that you would call a heartfelt story that
Was it?
like a little
Wait,
kid's
wait,
not
wait,
gonna
wait, wait, wait,
understand
wait, wait. You said adult
what
romance. Now I'm calling you out. What's a children's romance? You're gonna call out Sean. I'm gonna call out you.
Harry Potter would be children's romance. He
Oh,
has romance in
gross.
those books.
Goblet of Fire. Gross.
But anyway, this released on Game Boy Advance in 2005. The game begins with the player transformed into a Pokemon, navigating a world without humans and taking on rescue missions that slowly build into something much bigger. From the personality quiz at the start to the emotional ending, the game leans hard into atmosphere and character. What really sets Red Rescue Team apart is its emotional weight. The bond between the player and the partner feels earned, and the story's quieter moments are not something you typically see in the franchise, supported by a memorable soundtrack. Um, it all just kind of lingers in your mind after the credits roll, while the gameplay can be unforgiving and lacks modern quality of life features. Switch Online has save states, so it kind of makes up for that. So the difficulty, it reinforces the game's themes of responsibility and perseverance. It remains one of the most beloved Pokemon spin-offs because of how much heart it shows, even within its simple pixelated presentation. So I mentioned the questions at the beginning here. Um,
Mm.
I feel like this game takes a lot from Dragon Quest 3. I don't know if either of you have played it, but Dragon Quest 3 also starts with a series of personal questions to kind of shape your character archetype, and
Okay.
uses them throughout the story in kind of the same way. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, "Hey, let's incorporate that into a Pokemon game."
Well, I think
So what
uh
what did you guys get as a character?
Mudkip.
Since we're on the questions.
I'm gonna get
I
Oh,
got
me too.
Mudkip.
Mudkip.
yeah, wait,
Okay.
same. Wait, what the hell? Um,
So
well,
is
but
that the only
We all
one
got
there is?
Mudkip?
no, because you can look up online the guide for it. And I was gonna ask if so you made that comparison. Is there any others? Because in the same era, in the GameCube or Animal Forest N64 in the original Animal Crossing game, the way your character model is chosen is how you answer the personality questions, or
Oh,
just you answer the
interesting.
questions in the beginning. So
Mhm.
if you're mean, you kind of have more of a mean face.
I think
But
Dragon Quest 3, it probably wasn't the first game to do it though, but it was one of the first because that's an NES game. That game came out in like 1987. I'm just
yeah,
guessing on the year, but it's about there.
I think
So
it's
it wasn't the first, but it was like one of the first ones to do it really well.
I think it's really unique because I think about like when Animal Crossing New Horizons came out, I heard all these people that were like, I reset my game 200 times until I got my two villagers, and then I got the correct color of the airport that I wanted. And I was like, really? I was just like, yeah, this one looks good. Let's roll. Like I'll get my villagers later.
Leaves.
I don't care. Um,
I've seen people say the same thing about the leaves in the town because you know how it can either be like triangles or squares or whatever. They're
right.
reset to get the right
Yeah.
leaves.
Like, but like, I think this is really unique because this was more like, all right, like answer the questions, and there was the internet. There were guides eventually that would show you like how to get the starter that you wanted, or in Animal Crossing how to get the correct face that you wanted. But there was only so many options there, and I wish there were more options with games like this, especially ones that are roguelikes. Um, getting into how I wish it was more of a modern roguelike, uh, more of an incentive of completing the game with every character. But that's what I get
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
of the sense of a good roguelike now. Like Hades makes you use every weapon if you want to get through like the completion stages of it. So that's what I'd want
Yeah.
to see more. More like long-term upgrades and more of an incentive to replay the game with different characters. I had a hard time connecting with this one. How about you guys?
So
I
who did you guys
I
pick as
died.
your partner? You died.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Uh,
died a lot.
I picked Bulbasaur as my partner because he's my boy. Him and Squirtle are like all-time favorite Pokemon for me, and I didn't have Squirtle in there, so I went with Bulbasaur. Um, I didn't
Harrison,
have
who was your
Squirtle.
partner?
I don't remember. I played on Monday. I remember. Who was yours?
Trico? The
Mudkip and Trico.
gecko lizard looking thing?
Hmm.
Rico, eh?
I never, I don't know. It looked
Are
cool.
those the
So
same
I was just
type? I
curious.
don't even know.
I have no idea, but I'm like, we all got mudkips. We didn't all pick the same thing, right? So just want to
You
be
know, I went
sure.
with Bulbasaur. I died on the second dungeon. Um, and I wasn't using save states because, you know, I wasn't trying to beat the game or anything. So, at that point, I was like, "I'll come back to this." Um, but it was I think it might come back. I don't know how long this game is, but it seems like it's, like, one of those fun things you can play in a chunk where, like, throughout the next couple of months, if I got, like, 20 minutes, I might be like, I'll do a level in Mystery Dungeon."
I think it's about. I
Yeah,
think it's
I
about.
liked it. I'm with Harrison where
Yeah.
it doesn't have the incentive to keep going.
Yeah.
So
I
It's a
I didn't
casual
play.
game for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I would have liked it more because I do remember the original commercials for it, where it's like the kids. It's probably a subway station because it was always a subway station back then. But
Mhm,
the commercials are
probably.
like they're walking through a subway and they see their reflection, but the reflection is a Pokemon. I can remember those.
Mhm.
I I wondered this when I was a kid. I still do now. Of where I wonder if you took that out and you just made the story of you're just a Pokemon. That's it. Like you're just a Pokemon, and you remove that human element from it. If I would enjoy the story of it more, that's the part that it was always kind of like because I'm always like I'm a Pokemon. Like that's kind of the like, but I'm a human also. So what happens at the end? Do I become a human again? That's the part that
Oh,
kind of disconnected me with this
this
story.
makes it all make sense. I didn't know this until just a second. So Mystery Dungeon is a separate franchise, and this is a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon like crossover. Because I wanted to see how many other Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games there were,
There's 11 of
and
them. There's 11.
there's a ton of Mystery Dungeon games.
There's a
One,
bunch.
two, three,
There's
four.
11.
There's a Chocobo one, so Final Fantasy crossover. Cho- Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. Um, I did not know that this was outside of Pokemon. That's interesting. So that's
Yeah,
kind of like when Zelda did the dance of the necromancer or whatever that was. Like a sharing.
Cadence of
Yeah,
Hyrule. Yeah,
Cadence of Hyrule, yeah.
yeah.
because when this came up, I didn't
Crypt of
realize.
the Necromancer is the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
right, right. And we should point out too that this came out at the exact same time as the DS Blue Rescue Team, and
Mhm.
it's funny to hear about this because Nintendo Power was the only big publication at the time to review both Red and Blue, but they didn't even give a score for each. They just gave a total score, but they did give points on both games. Everyone else pretty much just reviewed the DS game. Why? Because it was the newer DS game. Now, what does that remind you of? Does that remind you of anything from today where we have Switch and Switch 2 versions of games, but they only review the Switch 2 version of it, and you have no idea what the Switch version is going to be like? It's the
It
same
seemed
problem that
familiar.
we were having over 20 years ago with this.
Yeah, the DS version looks way better. I'm looking at it.
It
I mean,
does
I
look
don't know how it performs, but
It does look way better, and it's pretty much, I think, the same game. But yeah, I mean, if I'm a gaming journalist, I'm like, yeah, give me the review copy of the DS game. I don't want to play, GBA. So I think it was kind of hard to get actual information of like oh, I only have Game Boy Advance. Is it is it as good as Blue Rescue Team? And the answer is kind of, just kind of.
I thought it was interesting that the Switch rescue team is like a remake of both of them.
Right.
So I was like, oh, okay. Because when this came up, I'm like, I thought there's a Switch version, and then it's like, and there is. So
oh, it's not that expensive if anybody has a DS and wants to get into it. I thought this might be one of them Pokemon games that was like still $60. But no, they're selling on eBay for like 20 bucks. That's reasonable.
I think the I think the first one sold. I think it sold pretty well. I think combined they sold over 3 million units. So I don't think they're uncommon.
I mean, if there's 11 of them. I guess
There's
they do
11 of
well.
them, so I think some of them didn't sell well, but yeah,
They had a 3DS one. Where's the Switch one? Oh, here it is.
it's
I'm
for
just
sure
poking around.
unique. You know, these came out at a time where Nintendo was still really trying a lot of different games, and this was done by a studio that I that has no games that I'm familiar with. But according to their wiki, this was a release that really helped move the studio along. Um, but yeah, a lot of Japanese only games that I hadn't heard about at the time. It did remind me of Pokemon Quest a little bit. Pokemon Quest was surprisingly one of my favorite Switch Pokemon games because we were lacking in that area. Pokemon Quest is like a voxel style Pokemon game, but it's the only Pokemon game that I know about that has auto battling. So it reminded me of this. This does not have auto battling, but you can control your your sidekicks, your buddies.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
yep.
that kind of reminded me of that because in Pokemon Quest, it's kind of fun to turn on the auto battle feature and see if your team can win just by just like watching them fight.
Pokemon Quest is free to play.
It,
It is free to play. I paid for the upgrade for that one, which is crazy because it's such an old game. Because you get a lot of you get a lot of really good upgrades for like the $30 that that you paid for. But yeah, it is free to play and it's also free to play on mobile as well. It's super fun. You know, I think I would just in such a big need for a Pokemon game that it was a good time. This game is number 59 for me. It
oh, wow.
is the lowest Pokemon game,
For now.
yeah, I would say. I mean, do we have more? How many more we got? We did Stadium.
Oh, there's Snap. Uh,
Oh yeah, Snap's
what
gonna
else
be
is on the
yeah,
service?
Snap might be lower.
Um, did we pull Snap yet? I can't remember.
I don't
We can't.
I don't think we have. I mean, I played the
No,
new Pokemon Snap, but I don't think we
I
I
don't
don't.
have.
think we
Yeah,
pulled
I
it
have it
yet.
in my rankings. We did it at some point.
Oh,
We did? Well, that's how memorable it was. So,
Or is that Sean's ranking?
oh,
Yeah, it's in our rankings. I just do a quick search here. I
N64 has
put
been on
Pokemon
this.
Snap
I mean,
at number
N64 has been on the
93.
service for however long now, so it could have been it could have
Sean
been
ranked it 108 and you ranked it 123, or was that the other way around? No, yeah, you ranked it
that
123.
which I'm sure at the time was like. I mean, it wasn't 123 at the time, but it's
Correct.
123
Yeah.
now. Yeah, I don't. I'm not a Pokemon Snap fan, and I bought the new game, and I think I think eventually sold it. You know,
Well, I put this at number 116, which sounds bad, but I think it's at about the quality of the games it's surrounded with. It's I put 1080 snowboarding above it because I got a little bit of nostalgia for 1080 snowboarding, and this is above. I would rather play this than Vector Man for Sega Genesis. So it's not in the dumps yet, but it's not a high game either.
no, I enjoyed this more than I expected because I'm not big on Pokemon. And I'd go back and play it. So I put it at 87. So that it's sandwiched between two other Game Boy games. So it's above Kuro Karin
Hmm.
because that was kind of an interesting game, but tough to play. And under Gradius Interstellar Assault.
I will say it has me interested enough, especially like this week. I recently broke out my 3DS again, and started playing Animal Crossing on it and a few other DS games. And I might check out the DS versions. We'll see. It's got me
Yeah.
curious now.
So
Now I at least know what it is. If I see a
yeah,
copy out in the wild, and I'm like, would I like this? You know?
no, I think it's a more interesting idea for Pokemon to me. Like you're just being the Pokemon, so I kind of
Mhm.
like that aspect of it. So no, I'd jump back into this one at some point probably. Like I said, it's just lacking the roguelite like just one more run thing. So
Well, let's find out what we're playing next week and see if that'll give you the roguelite one more run thing. It will not. We're playing a side scroller for the Sega Genesis. It's not a roguelite, but it is a fun one. Some people hold this game in very high regard. I don't have any opinion on it, so that'll change next week. We are playing Alien Soldier for the Sega Genesis. One of those games I know. One of the only things I know about this game is that it's one of those games that's in every single Sega Genesis Classics collection, like Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, but like
yep.
it's one of the
Must be
ones that's
good
just
then.
always in there. Yeah.
Must be, they wouldn't just throw it in with everything if it wasn't good. It's like French fries.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that they just own the game themselves and can do whatever they want with it. Um so yeah, here are thoughts on Alien Soldier next week. And I think we're gonna get some big Nintendo news soon, guys. They're gonna
Hmm?
announce a
Direct.
direct at some point. We'll probably get that next month. We got the movie trailer news. That's next week, right? The movie trailer thing, that's coming.
Oh, like the
Um,
movie direct. Yeah.
the movie direct, yeah. Um, Let me check that date real quick. It's happening this Sunday, so yeah. So we'll have that to talk about next week as well.
Oh.
So tune in next time, see more Mario Galaxy opinions than the 0 we gave this week. And keep in mind, we got other shows on the Side Panel Network. My shows are coming closer and closer every day. New Ninja Turtle Nerds is recorded, just not uploaded yet. Harrison, what do you got?
Uh, my show will come out probably the same day as this, because that's just the schedule. So if you want some basketball talk, check that out. And I have daily uploads on my gaming channel, doing Stardew now, doing things like that. So go check out all the links in the description. We'll make sure those are down there.
Comment your Doug Bowser name down below.